Good evening, dear friends. This is Deep Talks Virtual Reality on Love. I'm so very glad that today I am bringing to you something that's going to be really amazing and interesting. I have battled COVID and I'm feeling so really very happy, positive about it. That I'm still with you, and the love that you have all showered on me during this time has been amazingly well appreciated, well received. And here I am in front of you with Srishti and author Harun Rashid with us, who's going to be making a remarkable presence on Deep Talks, which is going to be bringing to you some valuable tips. And I'm so sure that you're all going to enjoy what he's going to say because he is globally known by international people. And I'm so very glad and honored to have him because such a platform requires so many great souls to be there on the love seat and share their valuable advice and experience with Miss Kurleen and Srishti. I give away this opportunity to you to introduce such a beautiful, such an honest, and such a remarkable soul on our show. Good evening, Srishti, and good evening, Harun.
Good evening.
Good evening and welcome everyone. It is my honor to introduce to you our guest for tonight, Mr. Haroon Rashid. Author Haroon Rashid is a world famous writer hailing from beautiful Jammu and Kashmir, India, also known as Heaven on Earth. He has been receiving worldwide recognition, love, and fame, including being called to the famous interview show, The Oprah Winfrey Show. Among his world famous writings are We Fell Asleep in One World, aka The Earth Poem, Suicide Poem, Come Back from the Heaven, Skin, Will Meet Again, Human Trafficking, Humanity Poem, Faith, Mother, Spiritual Love, The World, Media, Human in Uniform, Get Up, Kashmir, Meet a Person, and many more, along with endless quotes. His work, We Fell Asleep, became the fastest poem to reach readers all across the globe and has been translated into more than 148 languages, including Spanish, French, German, Arabic, African, Indonesian, Chinese, Hindi, Urdu, Persian, Kannada, Tamil, Sanskrit, Mexican, Bolivian, and many more. Many people, including celebrities like Oprah Winfrey, Zoya Akhtar, Anushka Sharma, Shibani Dandekar, Siddharth Malhotra, Anupam Kher, Kiran Bedi, Raleen Shah, Michael K. Williams, Valerie Condas, Ali McGraw, Francesca, Anita Murjani, Maria Selsta, Michael Parks, and many more have shared it on their social media platforms and fundraising events, making him globally renowned. He is now working on international projects and is spreading his aura and glory through the magic of his words world over. I would now like to request Colleen ma'am to host Sir, and I shall take a leave to be back in monitoring the conversation as a communication connect.
Thanks a lot, Srishti, for a great introduction. It couldn't have been better because youngsters introducing someone globally renowned, it makes me feel more proud of the fact that youngsters are coming forward and loving this show. So welcome, Harun. I'm so glad that you have taken out your precious time and have spared that time with us on Deep Talks. How does it feel?
First of all, thank you, Srishti, and thank you, Gurleen. It's been really amazing that I'm honored here, and it's going to be amazing as nature is gonna bless us with natural thoughts that we are gonna cherish
Sure.
in this show. Yeah.
Indeed, it's my privilege to host such a beautiful soul. So, may I ask you that let's start off, your eagerness to be a poet and a writer, how did it come across? Was it there as a child that this was something that you wanted to work for in your entire life and wanted to convey something that you had in your mind? Or was it something different or some turning point in your life that made you think that pen and paper is the art of conveying the message that you have to all the ones around you?
There's a quotation by me. That point was the turning point of my life. Now watch my desire burning. So
Wow.
you know, since my childhood, I was an artist and creative. I never had
Yes.
a kind of dream like, to become this or that. My purpose was to be in the moment and enjoy the moment. And whenever
Yes.
I was in school, so whenever I was in school, and you know, all the creative things that used to happen, so I used to won that first prize in that. In studies, I was not good,
Great.
but in creative fields, I was a kind of topper. So here in India, what happens that people usually locate only the studious people to be the toppers, and allocate them like they are the winners, but it's not true always. We all are
Yes.
winners, we all are losers. It's just that
True.
from what length we are seeing each other. So
Wonderfully.
being, yeah, being the writer is just the paradigm shift of my sketch artist to the knowledge and information I got, and it got mixed, and I became a writer.
Wow, that is fantastic and well stated by author Harun Rashid. And I'm so glad that he's speaking something that comes from his heart straight right there. So I really loved that your work has reached globally many people. So the fastest work of yours, I would love you to speak something on it. I would be really delighted if my audience who's watching us and the ones who'll be watching us later would come to know the reason, the real motivation for you to pick up such a topic and write, and were you aware that you would be one day so much famous for that?
In 2013, I was preparing for something beyond this creative fields. You know, I used to have dreams that world has stopped, and I'm saying something, and everyone is listening to it, hearing it, and understanding it. And in 2013, I couldn't decode this dream. That why is it happening? What is it? And I told that to one person in my life that point of time. So um, that person also couldn't decode. But uh, you know, in 2020, what happened? The world stopped due to the COVID,
Yes.
and the same thing happened. So maybe nature was already giving me instances to be in that light and to be in that
True.
way. But I
True.
was, you know, I was into something or some other way, searching for something else. And, nature pushed me every time to come back to this way. And when COVID started, so there was like naturally everything happened with me. But
Wow.
besides,
That is
besides that,
beautiful.
yeah, yeah, but besides that, that was nature's guidance. But my efforts were like, when I write something, no thing can distract me, nothing can impact me, that I can stop it. When I'm writing something, it's like me and nature are mirrors. So that's when
True.
I think God comes and gives us what we are.
You are stating something that comes right away as an important information to the people who are watching us and the ones who will be watching us later. I have been part of this disease and it is deadly. People are making fun of it. I rest assured the ones who are fighting it, they are the warriors, they are the true warriors in real sense. Because when you have deprivation of oxygen in your body, do you realize how difficult it is to even conduct a show like this and also be brave enough to be mentally strong and project something that's going to be progressive for the people and not create panic, anxiety, and even negative thoughts. So it is so great that you got some signs from the nature, Harun, because I believe a writer or a poet is always very close to the nature. So has nature always influenced your writings, or was it someone in your life, maybe your parents, your friends, who actually influenced you in some or the other manner to write on the topics that you've written? I would love to know what made you write on suicide, because I really would love to know, and the people who are watching us would love to know how you chose these topics. Was it naturally coming to you along the line, or was it with breaks, and how it affected you as a person as well?
Whatever faith or religion or belief or whatever we come from, we all have a tendency to give up, and we always give up
True.
in things that we cherish to prosper or wants to conquer. But when we give up, then we don't give up on dreams. Starts to give up on our lives. We all have done it.
True.
I mean, somewhere. whether we haven't,
Yes.
crossed the limit by cutting the wrists or trying the rope on our, neck and all.
Yeah.
But somewhere we have tried to step it into this. So I figured it out, like why this happens. And then I thought that suicide is something, even the pandemic is there or not, even diseases are there
Yes.
or not. But when there's a disease of hopelessness, when there's a disease of
Yes.
not seeing the dream, and when there's a dream of
True.
not working hard for what we believe in, and just because we lost some battle in our lives or we are unable to struggle doesn't mean that we have to give up. So
True.
that somewhere, prospered me or made me to think that this is the topic that I have to work upon. And I did it. I tried to analyze the situation of a suicidal person, what happens,
Yes.
what goes in her or his mind, and I copied or made uh, kind of that influenced me, like thoughts, what goes in their minds when they have that tendency, and then I wrote that, and at the last moment I changed the whole shift, like my all writings do. But that's my style of writing. So when someone reads, they feel like what they feel, and they will tell me what they feel. Yeah.
Definitely. I totally agree with you on that score that when one gets to the feelings of the people around you is the time that you realize that your writings are speaking the life of people, and that is being alive. I mean, I feel so nice when I read the introduction that you send me every now and then, and whatever I've read about you, I really feel that someone needs to be a good observer to understand the other person. You have to be in someone's shoes. Do you really agree with me that you have to be with people to understand what you are writing? Because any poem will not get applause by people until and unless you really know the situation of the other person and what you're writing of. So, have you been around those people, and have you really I think, have you really been around them always to be the one you are right now, or were you always an introvert by nature?
When I was in school, or when I used to go to school, I used to go for three things: football, friends, and my sketching thing. When I
Wow.
left the school, I got to realize that school was meant for studies. So what I did in school was just, uh, I think nature was making me prepare to learn the emotions, how to talk, how to walk, how to connect. And maybe I
True.
was the one central, maybe I was the one central tendency over the school where the junior of me and the senior of me used to connect me like uh, I am just one of them. They were not seeing me from the seniority level nor from the junior lens. So all were
True.
equal. So that happened, and in college also, I think I'm not an introvert nor an extrovert. I'm just kind of gel with me. I will gel with you. But if you have shallow thoughts,
Fantastic.
yeah. But if you have shallow thoughts, you will not be able to survive my depths. So this is
True.
something happens.
I would really love
Yeah.
to ask you, Harun, that you are belonging to a great place, Jammu and Kashmir, heaven on earth. So, has that really impacted the way you grew up? Would you like to share something that's very close to your heart, maybe a few lines that you've written on the place where you belong to? Or have you tried to make an attempt to beautify it in your own words? We would love to know, and the audience would love to know if you have few of the lines from your heart or your mind coming right there for the ones who are watching us, because it is heaven on earth indeed. And I haven't been to that place so far, but would love to visit in the future. But having you on board with me from that place, it speaks volumes, because people need to have unconditional love to just feel that connect when you are there as humans supporting each other and letting the milk of human kindness flow. And that's what I'm doing on Deep Talks, making people feel comfortable, confident enough, and courageous enough to share their experiences. So, do you have few lines to share with us?
Yeah. Kashmir is heaven on earth. Perhaps what is happening and what is made to happen. So I have penned it not from the lens of beauty. I have penned it
Yes.
from the lens of the present scenario. So when I wrote, you know, 3, 4 years back, a lot of writing. So many people around me asked me to write a poem on Kashmir and all. So the poem starts like this. I may not be right now, having the full flow of that. So
I know.
how how much I will be able to read or recall, I will read it.
Not an
Many
issue.
asked me, yeah, many asked me to write a poem on Kashmir. I don't have that vision. No, wait, yeah, just because I have written so much, so I have to recall. And it's like when creativity comes, you just write it. So I
I
have to
know.
cram it as well. I will cram it someday, all my writings. So many asked me to write. Many asked me to write a poem on Kashmir. I don't have that vision and sight where resides weapon in its fear.
Yes.
Um, you know, these 4 lines I remember. I have to cram it. I use. I I want to read it in the flow, but I'm not able to recall, so it will mix up, and the word flow will not make up right. So yeah,
Not an issue. Not an issue.
yeah,
It is something that comes from your own experience that when you are holding a conversation, I would love to state, my dear friends, it should be as natural, it should be as comfortable to the other person as it is appearing to you when you are actually hearing us. I have to say, the ones who has joined us, Arasu has stated, good evening. Gargi Halder, she's a visually impaired soul and she's my friend. She stated hello to Harun sir. Arasu says, fabulous and fantastic session. The session has just begun, and we are in conversation with the renowned soul, Harun Rashid, who's a writer, a poet, and after fighting COVID, I'm here in conversation with him, asking him what has inspired him to be the great personality he is. So, do you think, Harun, that after achieving a lot by writing, you're flying high in the sky, and how do you maintain your grounded reality? Because I believe that you are a very grounded soul by nature. And when I converse with you, I can find that the threads of remaining to the Mother Earth are more connected with the mental set, and you are bound to produce even more greater results with your writing. So, is there something that you are seriously working on right now, or you are planning to in the future to pen down something that could be magnanimous or could affect even more people around you and across the globe?
birds having wings still wants to be on ground. You on ground, why you want to be in air? So this thought of mine gives me, grounded reality that birds having wings still wants to come back on ground. So why I need to be on air for something that nature blessed with me to me? So I just
True.
feel that whatever we are is just a gift of nature. Nature has decided our
Yes.
destinies, and whatever we can do, whatever we become, is all the part of nature and its destiny. So I don't feel the plight of feeling that, oh my god, I'm so no, or oh my god, I'm appreciated here. It's just love of people. They read, they feel,
True.
and they understand and they cherish. Regarding what you said that I'm gonna write something or not. See, every writing is blessed by the nature, and nature decides the writing, and nature decides the
True.
reader. So whenever
Yes.
a reader is gonna, whenever a reader is gonna demand a writing from the nature, then nature is gonna make a writer to supply the writing. So it can be me, it can be anyone. So it's a equilibrium that happens between a reader and a writer, and every writing has a timing. You know, some writings of mine will be understood by people who are gonna be born after 100 years. Some are
Yes.
gonna understand now. So it happens with every writer on earth. I mean, there was two writers like Kafka, and uh, there are so many writers. They were, kind of invisible during their lives, but the moment they died and people started to appreciate their writings. So
Exactly.
I'm
You
just
are being
lucky enough that,
appreciated while you are being alive.
yeah, that's the lucky part, and that's I
Yes.
feel a kind of blessing upon me.
It is
Yeah.
amazing. It is amazing, Harun, to have you with us because, it is difficult for a writer or a poet to come on the camera and speak something that requires a lot of courage. And I believe that it is actually talking about the clarity of thoughts that you're owning, not only to yourself, but as a responsibility to the people who will be watching and hearing us. It is amazing, actually. And I would love to ask you, you believe in the concept of spiritual love, and you've written a poem on it, or maybe an article on it, and I have come to know about it. So I would love to ask you, do you believe in love in life? And what, according to you, is defining the love that you believe in? And what gave you an inspiration to write on spiritual love? As I am high on spiritual energy, and I would love to ask you that because during this time period of COVID and this pandemic, which might turn into an epidemic if people don't take care of, this is something that can bring a lot of smiles on the faces of people because there are a lot of energy healers and there are a lot of spiritual energies that can be transferred from people to people so they can be helped around. And being a mental health expert myself, I totally agree that you have to be mentally strong and spiritually aligned to be as fit as possible. Mental strength is everything. So, what is your take on it?
Spirituality, materialism, and humanism, and all the isms that are present in the world, somewhere make us to align ourselves into that realms. Perhaps
True,
spirituality is something which we choose or chose beyond materialism, beyond everything. And spirituality, we don't choose. It's the spirituality, it's the spirituality that chooses us. So
true,
whenever we meet some person whom we are not inclined to, or
true,
there's no kind of demand and supply of toxic behaviors and something like that. We all have a lot of people in our lives that we want to see grow, and when we
yes,
want to feel their growth, it's a kind of spiritual activity because spiritualism makes us to reach for higher. See, if
true,
you are doing something, if you are doing something and I deep in my heart wants your success, it's a kind of spiritual attachment. If
true,
I am doing something great and or even a normal thing, if you want that I should prosper, that's a kind of spiritual attachment. So
true,
every person is spiritually attached to each other. Like when
yes,
in cricket, in cricket, there are different fans of different cricket players. So they just want that
true,
cricket player play well. And if that is gonna make hundreds or what, how is that gonna affect that person? It's just
true.
that it's a love that makes them pray for them. Yeah.
Apart from that, I would love to ask you because our audience would love to know, have you ever fallen in love, Harun? This would be something that would be a great confession on this show. And it will bring smile to many, many stunning women who will be watching you. And are you still single or married? Or you're looking in for someone in your life? Because a poet can define the beauty of a woman in great words. And I'm so sure that being an artist yourself, you know that there is beauty in everything that you write, in everything that you speak. It is in a line thought of what you feel at that particular moment. And by nature, I feel that writers and poets are more romantic. But do you believe in this concept? And what is your take on it?
There's a quotation by me: I am not in love, I am a love in itself.
Wow.
So for me, rising in love is the essence. Falling is
Great.
very easy. Rise,
Yes.
rise with me. So whoever comes to me or whoever I go to, I just wish that we should rise in our lives. So that is
Yes.
what it is. I never feel like, declining, falling is like declining. I can't feel like that, to decline for something. I just want to, uplift them, and in uplifting them, I feel uplifting myself. And
True.
another question you asked, you have to ask again. I
I asked you, are you single or are you looking for someone in life to fulfill the the, you can say, the art of love in your life, which will make you a whole person, which you already, I would suggest that being single hardly defines the craving for having someone in life to fulfill yourself as an individual person. But still, our audience and everybody around us would love to know, are you happily married or you are looking in for a partner in coming times?
I am at present single, and if nature has
Wonderful.
made some plans, yeah, if nature had made some plans, it will make happen. And
Great.
I'm just going with the time, doing
That's
what
great.
nature is making me to do. Yeah.
That's great. Apart from this, there is Krishnan who has joined us and he says, this is a very important conversation and we thank him for joining us. There will be so many people who will be watching you during this show and maybe afterwards when it is spread to many groups. I'm so sure people will be taking some tips from you, Haroon, because whatever you say is going to be really impacting a lot many people who watch these talks and the ones who are actually waiting to hear you and your experiences and how you rose. So do you think that after achieving all these achievements, there is something as a dream that you are still wanting to achieve and it yet has not been fulfilled? Do you think there is a void somewhere that you need to convey to the audience and also believe in yourself for accomplishing that particular dream? I would love to ask you, is there anything that you have yet to achieve and you are working on it?
I will refer again one of my quotation. There is a bird with no hopes, no dreams, but flying in spirit. So
Okay,
for me, it's like having dreams, having hopes is a necessity of life. But there always comes a time when nature tests you for the dreams you
true,
see, for the hope you inculcate. But if you are inspirited and if you are,
true,
not giving them about whether you are accomplishing this or not, since beginning of my life, I have never worried about winning something, the first prize, second prize, or third. Whenever I performed, my whole essence was in performing. So
true.
even at this moment also, I feel like, every time I write something new, I am into the beginning love with that. I don't feel like this happened or that happened. My essence is to contribute, and that is my dream, that is my hope, and I'm gonna do it for the rest of my life.
That is a fact that you've stated, that one has to be in the present, my dear viewers, to enjoy the current position of who you are and where you belong to. Because if you're not enjoying your current state, how are you going to even evolve in the future? So some people are stuck up in the past and some people are repenting and criticizing and condemning their thoughts. So what kind of tips can you give to the ones who are feeling mentally low or mentally depressed? Because during this pandemic, everybody is sitting at their homes and they would love to know, should they start up by taking a hobby as a practice in their life so that there is a creative flow of energy in their bodies, which I always do. I like listening to music. I am also a writer. So fortunately became a co-author by writing my own divorce story on International Corners, which conveyed a message to people. And I really would love to know from you the tips that can actually enhance the personality of those people who will be watching this. Because I think during this pandemic, many people have lost hopes. But I'm conducting this show to let them know that a hope is what we should always cling to and we should work towards it. We cannot say that we cannot write our destiny. It is in our hands. We have to work harder for achieving what we want. We cannot just give up. And giving up is not an option. I am here with less of oxygen, but still trying to maintain something. That's a great conversation with Haroon Rashid, who is a globally famous soul. So I would love to ask you, Haroon, what kind of tips can you give to those people who really feel sad, depressed, and they feel that they have lived their life and there is nothing more that they crave for? Because a certain amount of desire and craving is necessary to move ahead. Do you agree with it?
Obviously, yes. uh, on my social site, I have, kind of passed my writings for free to the readers. They can read there. Perhaps coming to this question that you asked is a very important. I will answer through one of my writing, and that is,
Wonderful.
beautiful, beautiful people that There were times when world wars or wars used to happen. And if we, go back in 1940s or 1990s, what happened?
Yes.
World War One or World War Two happened. So people at that time also didn't, let their hopes go off, didn't, deprived of their dreams. They still dreamed. They still have the hope.
Yes.
They still work hard. And this pandemic is just a war of nature. For what? Because we
Yes.
people were so much into, so much we were, like inhumane. We were becoming, we were wanting wars on road. We were
True.
asking the nature, let this war come, and we want to see what happens in the movies, be it, violence or adulteration. We want to see it on the
Yes.
road. So nature said to humans, oh humans, sit there and watch what you are desiring. I'm gonna tell
True.
you what war means. And nature saw something, in advance, that these humans are gonna battle fearlessly and in a very bad light. So nature made us
Yes.
host in our own houses and made us to watch. But still, humans are fighting. But regarding hopes and dreams, whatever is your work, see, techniques are changed. Earlier, you used to
Yes.
work from the ground. Now you have to
True.
work through the ground. Your house is the
Yes.
ground, and you have to work. If we
Yes.
are gonna have to have an interview, we were like going to be a certain place, but now we are having interviews through home, through this online.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
Teaching is happening online. All the things
True.
are happening online, but if you can cope up, like Darwin said, survival of the fittest. This is the
Yes.
situation, and you have to become a winner again by
True.
seeing the dream, have the hopes, have the courage. All is within you. Just stand again, look in the mirror, and you will get your reflection. And if you will not get, then ask yourself, what are you waiting for? Everyone is dying, and you are having oxygen, you are having everything. You're blessed,
True.
you are meant for something to serve a purpose. So start having everything that you are missing. Everything is within
True.
you. Ask, universe will give.
True. Harun, there has been a lot many people and lot many young writers who would be wanting to ask you this question, which I am trying to ask now. What are those tips that can be given to the people who are very naive or have started writing and would love to publish their own articles somewhere in magazines or grow bigger in that kind of an arena? So, are there some tips to become a great writer which you can give to the audience? It would be lovely to have tips from someone who's attained a lot and has enough to attain in coming times. I'm so sure that you are going to go much bigger than what you have envisioned for yourself, because I can see it. And myself being a writer, I feel that I'm in love with every word and every alphabet, every letter, because that is our life. We live through the words and we make it happen. And do you really believe that a writer can impact a lot many people than someone else? This is the second question, apart from the tips that you can offer to the audience.
The first question, holding a pen doesn't mean you are a writer. Holding a camera
Yes,
doesn't mean you are, a photographer. Holding a mic doesn't mean
yes,
you are a journalist. Wearing a
yes.
uniform doesn't mean you are a police. And same way, having the stethoscope here doesn't mean you are a doctor. You can be.
True,
You can call yourself. You could have qualified those exams and you have become. But
true,
that is just for the namesake. And if you want to become something for the namesake, go on, become. That is very common.
true,
But if you want to become great, don't look for greatness. Look for the efforts every day. Like you are preparing for one exam, prepare whole life for something you believe in with same enthusiasm, and you will definitely become great. Nature always blesses those souls who work recklessly on what they believe in. I
true.
got what I got is not a kind of, spontaneous thing. Nature has
Yes,
seen my effort, whether it was raining, whether it was, drenching, whether it was heat. I still write. I still get up right and keep on do that. So
Amazing.
same way our army men, our doctors, there are many who are recklessly there for us,
True.
and they are known, and they are having that great fame, great love. So if you are
True.
gonna put efforts every day, you will definitely become great. So bring professionalism, and that is you. You have to be that.
True. So, Harun, that is wonderfully stated by you that be yourself and don't let the challenges drown you for the moment that you have to live on a hope, and you have to make it up by putting in regular efforts that requires a lot of patience, persistence, and perseverance. That's so rightly stated by you, because this is what people are missing. They think that a great writer has just become a great writer by penning one poem. No, my dear friend, it is regular effort that goes along the line. Even during any season, there could be no reason, but he's writing for something that is meaningful, and it will hold meaning only if he or she has a vision towards it. So author Harun has vision for a larger segment of the population and is reaching the global arenas with his sheer efforts and hard work. You also can become a great writer and author by wearing an outlook that is so positive. You have to be mentally strong, my dear friends. That's a quote which I share with everybody. Be mentally strong to face any illness in your life. If you are positive, if you dress up nicely, you will feel good. Look good, feel good. There is another deep tip which I want to share with the viewers. Clarity of the self reduces panic attacks and anxiety. One can sleep really very peacefully. One has to. One has to think positive, and that's how we are in conversation with a renowned soul, Harun Rashid. And after fighting COVID, I'm here to support all the ones who are undergoing this pandemic's effect, and it's worse. This disease is worse. To not make this a laughing matter. Wear your mask, use sanitizer, stay home, and stay safe. Also, listen to your elders. If they are feeling anxious, talk to them. Pick up a phone, make a call, and make someone feel happy that someone has you in their lives. There is something that you can do for the milk of human kindness, my dear friends. This is the time. Let not the plants go and rot. Let's plant trees, and let's think collectively and be responsible as Indian citizens, or wherever you are living. You are responsible for creating an environment around you and doing the best that you can at your level. You are listening to Gurleen Khokar and Harun Rashid, wearing a bold outlook on Deep Talks. So there is this question, Harun, is communication really very important in modern times? Because earlier it used to be taken not in a very serious manner. Nowadays, people want to become global speakers and they would want to be interviewed. So do you really feel that communication at any cost is the importance of being seen, and it affects the person's personality while doing so much of work in their lives? And I totally agree with this, because without communication, nobody can achieve what one is doing, even in any situation or any relationship. What is your take on it?
There's something, some saying, I don't know who said that, that mother understands a child very well. But I have seen a lot of situations where when a kid is born, and if he or she is not crying, mother doesn't know that he's hungry or not. So expression is very important. Whatever you are, whether you are writer or not, doctor or not, whatever you are, expression is important. Communication is a form of expression. So you need to learn how to communicate, how to present yourself, because this world is 21st century, modern world, and it
True.
looks for these things. When you are going to the market and buying the smartphone and smart dresses, kindly buy something which makes you smart from inside, so that you can present yourself smartlessly or smartly, and that is gonna make you, uh, be something that people want to listen again and again. See, if you
True.
are having wonderful thoughts or wonderful, amazing, uh, ideologies, but if you're not able to present, or you haven't learned how to present, then how do people gonna, listen to you? Maybe they will read you,
True.
but they will not have the charm to listen you again and again. So
True.
learn it and grow with it.
Yeah, without taking much of your time, Harun, we all would love to know one experience of a fan that touched your heart and mind after reading your poem. Did someone pick up a phone and call you and say, "Oh, this is my life and you have written so well"? Or someone who has actually made a space in your heart and mind with your work?
In 2011, when Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara movie released, so that was the first time I looked for the director, and that was
Yes,
Zoya Akhtar. So I just wanted to know that who created this, because I somewhere got to know that actors are just acting. It's the director's vision. So I looked
yes,
for director, and I felt that this director is something else. Then uh, in 2020, she messaged me a very long message. She thanked me,
wow,
said, "You have written gem, and I am so thankful. I have, you know, I can recall the way she honored me. I just fell in love with it. Not because she is this or that, but apart from being a director, great director, she's a
yes,
great human. So I'm just, feeling that it's not this, but there's so many celebrities that have messaged me, and there's so many, souls from different places, China, Japan, South Africa, USA.
amazing.
I mean, name any country, because 148 languages is not a joke. So
Not a joke.
148 languages, you are everywhere. So a lot of
Yes,
people have messaged me and thanked me. But this incident of Zoya Akhtar, I mean, now I have to say Miss Zoya Akhtar, or because I have grown like, I have grown like, knowing these actresses like by the name that common people call. And I
I
think
know.
whenever we have to, like whenever we address our, state chief ministers or prime ministers, we should always address
Yes,
them with Miss or Mister, because they have earned it. This I have learned.
yes.
So that was the incidents that just, nature
It's
shows you
it's an
that.
amazing thing to have you speak about these great souls, Zoya Akhtar being one, and many others. And apart from that, before leaving this show, I'm seriously wanting to thank you enough, Harun, for taking your precious time out for Deep Talks, because this is something that's very close to my heart. And I hope that knowing you has made me learn something that I can also take away apart from the audience that will hear you and will take something from you. I know it takes a lot to have the clarity that you are having. And myself being a mental health expert, I would love to ask you one question. Do you think that people who are suffering from mental health issues require counseling and they should approach a counselor when it is required and necessary? Because the assistance of having someone guide you becomes another hope in their lives. Do you really think that more of mental health experts should come forward and deal with the issues, including the pandemic which is going around? People are having a lot of fear, anxiety. So, what is your take on having said that the mental health experts need a lot more respect in this country? Apart from whatever respect they're getting in the foreign countries, India should come forward and have more of these kind of people coming forward and trying to help people who are really wanting the help.
What I have realized in India and beyond
Yes,
India, in India, that profession is loved, upon which media shows the light, and the rest all are
yes,
ignored. But in
yes.
beyond beyond India, every profession is equally respected, because everyone is
True,
contributing. So we
true.
need to firstly, learn that we need to respect every profession. Every profession is a contribution
Yes,
to us. Regarding mental health and all, obviously, yes, uh, we are living in a modern world full of so much around us, so many thoughts, so many work, so many tensions, anxieties, everything. So we need to have one mentor who is gonna, make our life smooth. It can be, when we are child of 4 5 years, our mentors are teachers.
yes,
But when we reach up to a level of 10th or 12th, we start to think that we know this life, we know this world, and that is the point where we start to, get mental disorders most of the times.
true.
So after school, we just feel like free birds, and doing mistakes and blunders. That's the part of life. But through those experiences, we starts to have depressions. I mean, most of the depressed cases, you might be knowing of which age group is that,
Yes.
and then 30s and 40s. So every person is a child inside. So every person
True.
needs to have a mentor, and they should really look for um, the mental health experts and should ask and communicate. And when they will communicate, they will heal. And when they will heal, they will feel themselves. And when they will feel themselves, they will feel alive. So, why to
True.
remain dead when you are alive? Kindly feel alive when you are alive.
True, true. That is wonderfully stated by Harun Rashid, and I'm so lucky that what should I say? It couldn't have been better during this COVID fight, having someone who's there to not only inspire me but motivate many people who will be watching us. And this makes me feel so happy that I don't know whether you will be remembering me after this interview, but I'm glad when people call up and say that you host us really well and make us comfortable and make us feel loved and wanted. And this interview of yours, Harun, would be remembered by me not just now, but in the coming times as well, because every show, every person counts. And that's what I keep telling people, make every breath count for good. If you can do something good, my dear viewers, it is your time right now to make something that you are aware of in your conscious self. And I am thankful for you to watch us converse, and it makes me really very honored and thoughtful enough to appreciate every person who will be watching us. So Miss Gurleen wishes each one a safe and secure stay at home. Please, please follow the rules, because sometimes it is just one moment that one should remember and one should take notice of. One should not take anything lightly, especially a disease. Let's take every breath in a way that is positive and thankful, and be grateful to God above that we are alive and we are making an impact on the largest segment. One last message, Harun, before leaving this show, for the host and for the audience, and what you felt during this conversation, and what would you want the viewers to do while sitting at home?
This phase of life is a very weak phase, and it is the most testing time of our lives, and we have to be strong. We need to follow the guidelines which government has said and
True,
which science or scientific paradigms are stating to us. Wear masks,
true.
maintain social distance, and do the best possible, because your life matters. And when you will be alive, and the same way you will be contributing in whatever best way you can. So your contributions matter, your life matters, and whether we know each other or not, whether you know me or I know you, doesn't matter. Somewhere we are gonna, you know, feel your essence through your works and shine in your life. Stay safe, stay blessed. Best wishes, always rock.
Thank you so much, Harun. Thank you so much. Very good night. Good night, my dear viewers. Have a safe and sound sleep.
Take care.